Then there's maybe 80% of the population whose main function is to follow orders and not to think, and not to pay attention to anything. And they're the ones who usually pay the costs.
For the past few months, the internet's been set ablaze following the clash of the titans of the rap game, Drake, Kendrick, and Cole. The self-proclaimed Big Three finally turned their look inward after Kendrick declared himself the king of the rap game, very similar to his Control verse where he announced his arrival as a serious player for the throne and put the rap world in check by calling out its biggest names.
And it would have this kind of impact on music.
No, I didn't know until after, you see the hooray and hoorah about it. The fact that hip-hop hasn't been shaken up in a long time. When I went in and did the verse, I thought I was just having fun. and these cats I know.
13 years, like a locust, you have returned.
This most recent rift again comes from Kendrick Lamar, distinguishing himself amongst his peers. In response, we now have the redacted record from J. Cole, 7-Minute Drill, and the 2 records from Drake, Push-Ups and Family Matters. Kendrick's vitriol is aimed at the character of Drake, what he believes is his faux persona that's run amok in the genre that he reigns over. His disdain is palpable from his personal attacks through Drake's actions as a father and spouse.
Dear Adonis, I'm sorry that man is your father, let me be honest. It takes a man to be a man.
To questioning his artistic integrity and meaning to the quote-unquote culture.
Once upon a time, all of us was in chains. Homie still double down, calling us some slaves. Atlanta was the mecca, building railroads and trains. Bear with me for a second, let me put y'all on game.
Which Kendrick claims to represent. It's clear from Kendrick's perspective that there's something of a personal nature to his antagonism with Drake, mentioning allegations of grooming, predatory behavior, and general lack of a moral conscience through rampant drug use and lack of accountability, even alluding to another child sired by the artist, similar to the claims made by Pusha T. These attacks can be referenced in his tracks like that, Euphoria, 616 in LA, Meet the Grams, and most recently, Not Like Us.
Certified lover boys, certified pedophiles. Wop, 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 that come up. Wop, 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 I'ma do my stuff.
In response, we received Drake's crooning melodies, his sing-songy punchline-driven raps used to deliver jabs along the lines of Kendrick's Hypocrisy through marital infidelity.
You the black messiah wifing up a mixed queen and hit vanilla cream to help out with your self-esteem.
Alleged abusive behavior.
Is it self-defense cause she bigger than you? Your back is up against the curb.
Posturing as a savior of the game.
Like you about to get the slaves freed. You just acting like an activist. It's make-believe. Don't even go back to your hood and plant no money trees.
To paint a better understanding of what this clash means from the world of hip-hop, and to further understand the excitement and frenzy created by the situation, I'll use this most recent wave as a case study into the state of the genre, and the culture of contention we've created to satiate our need for victims and perpetrators. So let's dive right in. If I had to choose a rough analogy whenever I hear the term culture when it comes to hip-hop, I'm reminded of Christmas. What is on the surface level a popular Christian holiday is in reality the exploitation of consumer appetite.
This is perfect. Now, I don't know Jesus. But from what I've read, Jesus is the least materialistic person to ever roam the earth. No bling on Jesus.
Promoting rampant, unchecked materialism. In keeping with the same theme of hypocrisy in this essay, Christianity's most marketable holiday finds its roots in paganism.
That boy, that's what Christmas is all about.
Actually, Granddad, Christmas is a pagan holiday, and Jesus probably hates you for celebrating it.
There ain't gonna be no Scrooges in this house, boy.
In similar fashion, this amorphous culture that Kendrick refers to, the struggle and trauma of black life in the United States, he argues, is not something intrinsic to a figure like Drake, and this ever-shifting definition is used to gatekeep those found outside its blurry edges. At the same time, the prevalence of misogyny, drug abuse, and violence in the genre is completely embodied by Drake. To be told he's not of it because he wasn't born into it is to ignore the actions that he's taken to ingrain himself in its popular discourse. Because Kendrick is categorized as belonging, he and others of his perspective dismiss what Drake actually is. Hip-hop's avatar.
It's simple. We all know that optics is everything.
The lineage of studio gangster antics, lyrics of a material bent, wanton promiscuity, and all the flash and dazzle without substance is as much hip-hop as apple pie is American. And hip-hop, although birthed by the product of the Black American experience, has risen to the point of becoming pop culture, just like Drake, driving its reflection on the world stage. So to discount Drake's belonging is to overlook what could be described as the most popular and off-occurring aspects of the culture so lauded by these critics. Drake reflects much of the worst parts of the culture, and we can't accept that, all too ready to dismiss him despite his best efforts to speak to the proclivities of the genre. Drake, at the very least, isn't a hypocrite about it.
Rappers make me sick to my stomach. We glorify who died and demonize the niggas who done it. I thought we was thugging. Niggas killed Jabari for nothing.
And yet this manufactured beef is beyond belief, trending across the world, every circle discussing what it means for the future of hip-hop. Not able to see the trees for the woods, the very act of black artists disparaging other black artists is vigorously consumed, like it always is.
Niggas' funerals, and we're part of the game. It's this. He only eats the niggas. He didn't say anything about any of these white boys. And none of these white boys function like that. And Cat is one of the best painters in the game.
There seems to be none of the shame in fighting in front of white people that many black Americans cited during the Will Smith incident with Chris Rock.
And you know what my parents taught me? Don't fight in front of white people.
To shame someone else's family, culture, lifestyle for the ridicule of supremacy in your field is exactly the crab and barrel mentality that will, as so often is the case, end in violence. Each artist has included reference to each other's deaths. Every talking head propagating this rivalry has said as much.
Moto dump, that'll get him going for real. What's that? What is that?
Bro, that's the only way, bro.
The face for distributing and discussing the diss tracks has become the controversial streamer and wannabe journalist, DJ Academics, who made his bones from mocking the deaths of drill artists in Chicago.
And you could definitely chime in. When I saw Drill was so hyped up by everyone. I had to give a different perspective of what that was for people to realize that's not cool.
I really think you a bitch.
His dramatization of their experience for the consumption of a mainly white audience was an interesting case study of the eagerness to peep through the window into the black experience, the jarring disconnect of the music's origin, and the ears in which its message now falls upon. Every talking head is disclaiming their promotion of any violence as they readily consume the music, all but alluding to the need for this to escalate into something physical, with the specter of these lyrics about death and child abuse looming over their contorted faces, some even dancing to them.
Trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor.
They know, just like the audience that consumes this toxicity with such vigor, that if, or perhaps more likely when, such an action occurs, they will absolve themselves of any participation or accountability, unaware they are already radiating from devouring its isotopes.
Chicago, the murder capital. You know, the dudes in that video, you know, in and out of prison. A couple fed cases. And then there's ghosts. You know, you see people that ain't there.
Because like many in the world today, we want the thrills of violence without consequence or blame, very much sounding like the culture vulture behavior that we ascribe to others. It's okay to kill us, but only when it is coming from us. Symptoms of dull hearts, I suppose. There is no such thing as a savior for this dirty game. No one can be.
There is none righteous. No, not one. Now, I realize Mr. Simmons' quote was from the great Franz Wickmeyer. Mine was just from a simple desert handyman named Jesus.
And the mental gymnastics to then blame the toxicity of the very same culture while actively contributing to its climax is to ignore the root of these issues in their entirety. The same way that Kendrick's approach to this problem of culture vulture and faux persona of Drake has distracted from the real issue of hip-hop's direction.
Drake is pop to me.
Right, that's fair. In the sense that it's charting like pop music?
In the sense, like, if I was in Target in Houston and I heard a Drake song.
Hey, it's definitely hate. It's definitely hate.
Criticizing and making fun.
Drake is hip hop and this is hate.
Yeah.
But I'm with incentivized hate.
Buying and selling, where's the message that I can use?
Right.
You know, what's in it for your audience apart from
Yeah, they got. I want to rewind a lot of that shit we just talked about. There wasn't no hate.
I'm gonna really enjoy if Drake disses most.
Just as the message is cited as what hip hop is really about, you can't deny Chief Keef as an evolution and consequence of.
People pissing on the stage, you know they just don't care. I can't take the smell, can't take the noise, got no money to move out, I guess I got no choice.
Is one more culture than the other? Is 50 Cent's Many Men and the justification of violence in its dog-eat-dog world not the culture?
Did he sing Get Rich or Die Trying? I was in the 4th grade. I was like, okay, the streets is okay. Because it's not. I used to be ashamed of my parents.
Is Eminem from the trailer parks of 8 Mile not of the culture? All of this straw manning has distracted from executives at Universal and Spotify from enriching their pockets off of the million and potential billions of streams from the outcomes of this internal culture war. The only ones who stand to profit from any violence posthumously as well.
In my opinion, it's like we gotta stop pretending we care about these people and we care about these kids. This is a business. They want to use you and destroy you and get your money, and it's better for their business if you're dead. That's why they put out albums after you died. If they cared about you as an artist, they wouldn't do that. They would just give your parents the remainder of your contract. They would give you health insurance. They would give you life insurance. It's just, you get what I'm saying?
You know, the hell, it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing changed.
Nothing for the better.
Nah.
Mm-hmm.
We got CVS.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but some of them kids ain't gonna make it out of it. Mm-hmm. Some of them kids ain't gonna make it out of it. You know, and just feel, you know, you feel so helpless.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, when that's me talking to me 6 years ago, you know, and that stuff is the same. You just feel like you feel hopeless. You know, it's just it's a terrible thing. You know.
This is not the battle for the soul of hip-hop that some are making it out to be, and to some degree will only further the possibility of righting the ship. Hip-hop at its very core and its origin was molten, with the potential to be welded into a shield for its community, or a sword against it. And it's more often than not more profitable to stab the ears of the listeners with memories of murder.
Not this, it's not that. They soft, or they this, or they that. We push the gangster stuff over and over and over again. And then when people die, we don't tell the truth.
Unfortunately, those who propagate this sound, however disconnected, are simply amplifying the noise echoing in the streets. Drake is just a megaphone for its ills that we accept on a daily basis. When compared to the satellite dish of these powers, it's a surprise we're tearing another black artist as the root of the ills.
They have an overwhelmingly dominant role in the way life happens, you know, what's done in the society. Within the economic system, by law and in principle, they dominate. The control over resources and the need to satisfy their interests imposes very sharp constraints on the political system and the ideological system.
Is he not just riding the wave of other popular black artists? Does that not mean that these ills exist already?
I mean, they're entertainment. And by they, I mean the people that aren't necessarily invested. The people that don't have to, that don't know the reality of it. And it's a very real thing. And the internet will, like, you see artists beef, and it's like, oh man, go. And the second somebody dies, one person's stupid and one person's a murderer. Oh, I can't believe you hurt someone. But they listen to these songs over and over and over again. Just as an artist, man, know that it's a reason that this stuff is being pushed, and I fall for it. This is my life, like.
Outside of the home of rapper Drake. Here's a live look this morning at the scene. This is outside 21 Park Lane Circle in North York, well known to be the home of the Toronto-born rapper. Details are still very limited at this point, but police confirmed that they were called to the home around 2 o'clock this morning after reports of a shooting. One man was rushed to hospital with serious injuries. Police have confirmed to City News that the victim...
These executives are the only ones benefiting from this feud that we're egging on, and our hands are just as dirty, salivating at the next record, wondering just how much uglier it can get.
This is getting crazy, bro. My voice is not even back. My voice isn't back yet, and I'm here on stream.
And so this won't be the last time we see such rivalries on record. However, given the new heights of rap and these disses now echoing on a global stage, I won't be surprised to see it evolve into its drill rap extremes at some point. The disrespect for the dead has already started to rear its ugly head with the use of an AI Tupac, nightclub patrons dropping like it's hot to mention of children being abused.
My fuck God, dude.
Our contracts, we getting priced out of our imprints. There are no labels basically that are incentivized to sign black music, and it's happening in front of our eyes. And while Taylor Swift is fighting for people to be able to have streaming money, niggas is on the internet arguing with each other about some rap shit.
Hip-hop's worldwide appeal will only stretch itself further into these recesses until we're so numb, artists will need to find creative, deadly ways to reach new highs. Just don't blame the dealer when you find out that the gear is cut with fentanyl.
They select, they shape, they control, they restrict in order to serve the interests of dominant elite groups in the society.
There is an unusual amount of attention focused.
I want to thank you all who stayed tuned in. I hope you can give me a like, subscribe, and comment if you appreciated anything about this video. Feel free to explore my channel more for other essays. If you're so inclined, my Patreon is set up now to help the channel grow. And as always, thank you for watching.